On the 4th of July, 2026, as the United States marked its historic 250th Independence Day, a striking scene unfolded on the streets of Washington, D.C. Out of nowhere, hundreds of men dressed in identical militaristic uniforms marched out of Union Station, chanting, "Reclaim America," and "Life, Liberty, Victory." They didn't break windows. They didn't clash with police. Instead, they moved through Capitol Hill and the Eastern Market neighborhood like a tightly choreographed theater troupe, crowded into a public metro train and disappeared as quickly as they arrived. This wasn't a spontaneous protest. It was a flash rally by Patriot Front, a group classified by organizations like the Southern Poverty Law Center and the Anti-Defamation League as a white supremacist, neo-fascist organization. But why do they dress like a corporate IT department on a weekend retreat? Why do they hide their faces? And what is the actual strategy behind these bizarre, hyper-scripted invasions? Today, we are breaking down the history, the public relations machinery, and the stark reality behind Patriot Front. To understand Patriot Front, we have to go back to one of the darkest moments in recent American history, the 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. Before Patriot Front existed, its members were largely part of a different white nationalist group called Vanguard America. During that violent weekend, a young Texas native named Thomas Ryan Rousseau was rising through their ranks. Rousseau was actually photographed marching right alongside James Alex Fields Jr., the man who hours later drove his car into a crowd of counter-protesters, killing 32-year-old Heather Heyer. The public fallout from Charlottesville shattered the far-right ecosystem. The overt Nazi imagery, swastikas, and raw violence caused a massive public backlash, fracturing Vanguard America. Rousseau realized that traditional fascist aesthetics were a PR nightmare that alienated mainstream America. So, late in 2017, at just 19 years old, Rousseau broke away and founded Patriot Front. His core insight was simple. If you want to spread extreme exclusionary ideologies in the United States, you have to wrap them in the American flag. Patriot Front's entire strategy relies on a visual rebrand. They deliberately stripped away overt neo-Nazi symbols and replaced them with traditional Americana. Their logo features the fasces, an ancient Roman symbol of power and authority, which historically gave its name to 20th century fascism under Benito Mussolini. Yet, by surrounding it with early American revolutionary imagery, they try to blend into the historical background. Then, there's the uniform. By forcing every single member into identical khakis, blue shirts, and baseball caps, the group creates an illusion of mass, disciplined military power. But there's a dual purpose to the uniform and the white face masks. First, it protects members from being identified, keeping them safe from losing their jobs or facing social consequences. Second, it turns them into a faceless monolith. They want the casual viewer to see a unified army rather than a small, fractured group of individuals. If you look closely at how Patriot Front operates, experts point out they don't function like a traditional political activist group. They function like a media production house. They specialize in what researchers call flash activism. They rarely announce their events in advance. They arrive unannounced, set off smoke bombs, unfurl a massive banner over a highway overpass, take high-resolution photos and drone footage, and retreat. The goal isn't to hold a debate or win a local election. The goal is the content. According to researchers at the ADL Center on Extremism, Patriot Front has historically been responsible for up to 80% to 82% of all reported white supremacist propaganda distributions in the U.S. The entire D.C. march on the 250th Independence Day was designed to generate cinematic footage that they can edit and slap an aggressive soundtrack over. They use it online to recruit and project strength far beyond their actual numbers, which internal leaks suggest sits at only around 500 members nationwide. But while the group works hard to look intimidating on camera, reality frequently punctures their carefully curated image. Earlier in 2026, when they tried to infiltrate a March for Life rally in D.C., counter-protesters met them not with violence, but with megaphones playing loud, looping circus clown music. The absolute absurdity of a group trying to give a solemn fascist speech while a goofy slide whistle plays in the background completely ruined their propaganda value. And when their operations go wrong, the consequences are real. In 2022, 31 members, including Thomas Rousseau himself, were packed into the back of a U-Haul cargo truck in Idaho. They were heading to disrupt a Pride event when local police intercepted them and charged them with conspiracy to riot. Stripped of their masks, the illusion of an elite army vanished instantly. The July 4th invasion of Washington, D.C. didn't result in any arrests, and the Metropolitan Police tracked it purely as a First Amendment demonstration. But it serves as a stark reminder of how modern extremist groups operate. They don't look like the villains of the 20th century. They wear khakis, and they use the very symbols of American freedom to argue against it. What do you think about the changing face of these flash rallies? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe here on Geopolitics. I'm Elio, and I'll see you next time.